Alright guys, welcome back to the next part. In the last part, we took a look at setting up our search controller, and before we jump into the results controller in the next video, let's go ahead and create a custom title view up here where we can have the title for stocks left aligned. So this is the watch list controller that we are still in this file, and right below where we had said setup search controller, I'm going to call a function called setup title view. And just like we did down here, we're going to go ahead and create a private function for setting up the title view. And I'm going to start also adding in some of these mark comments to organize our code before our code starts to get larger. That way we make sure to stay organized. Here we're going to have a mark, and we're going to have this one be a life cycle. So cool, so title view, what do we do here and what are we trying to accomplish? What we want is we want to have a stocks label on the left hand side here. Now there are a variety of ways you can achieve this. You can have a custom navigation bar, or you can use a custom title view. We're going to opt for a title view in today's video. So we'll go ahead and create a title view here. This is going to be UI view, and we're going to set a frame on this. This will be 0, 0. We want this to be view.frame.size.width, so the entire width of the view. And here we want the height to basically be the height of our navigation bar. So instead of actually doing this whole verbose, navigation bar.view.height business, there's a way where we can shorthand all of this, and it'll come in really handy as we progressively build our application out. And the way we're going to do that is by writing some custom extensions. So let's go ahead and open the other folder, and I'm going to create an extension file in here. So we'll say new file. It's going to be a Swift file, and I'm going to go ahead and call this extensions.swift. And we're going to start by importing UIKit up here. Now, you can basically create extensions to shorthand things. And in fact, in the entirety of the series, we're going to be creating a couple different extensions. But here we'll get our first taste for a couple of them. So we're going to create some framing extensions. We're going to go ahead and create an extension off of UI view. And instead of saying view.frame.size.width, which is kind of verbose, what if we had a property on here that's just called width, which basically return the verbose version of it. And similarly, we can add a couple more actually. We can add a height, left, right, top, and bottom. So let's go ahead and tweak these. So height is going to be the height, like so. The left here is going to be origin.x. The right is pretty simple. Basically here we'll take the left and then we'll add the width to it. What else do we need? We need top, which is going to be frame origin Y, which is the topmost of a frame. And then finally, we want bottom, and similar to right, we can just take the top and add our height to it. And now, if we jump back to our watch list controller, instead of doing this whole view.frame.size.width business, we can drop the verbose part of it and just do that. And for our height here, we can go ahead and say navigation controller. We want to get the bar's height. Now, because it's optional, we're going to provide a default value of 100. And just so we can make sure we are in fact actually seeing this, I'll go ahead and set a background color of link, which is a blue style color. And I'm going to go ahead and say the navigation items title view is our title view that we are creating. So let's go ahead and give our project a run and make sure we see a blue bar at the top here. All right, awesome. So we see our blue bar here, sized appropriately. It's not overlapping the notch, and it looks pretty good. The next thing we want to do is drop that background color and add our label. So we'll go ahead and say a label is going to be UI label, frame is going to be CG rect, X will be 10, Y will be 0. Now, once again, the height of this, we want to match the height of the title view. And the width, we'll go ahead and say this is title view dot width subtracting 20 since we subtracted 10 from each side. Now this label, I'm going to go ahead and give it a text of stocks. We're going to go ahead and say title view, add subview for the label. And because this is a title, we want it to be a little larger. So maybe we'll go ahead and bump up the font size here. I'm going to go ahead and say system fonts, and we want to select the option that takes in a size. Maybe we'll try 32 and medium as the font weight, so it should be a little bold. So let's go ahead and give it a run, and let's see what that looks like. All right, looking pretty good. So you can bump up the font size as you see fits. I think it might be a tad bit small, but this gets a little subjective at a certain point. So play with the numbers, use whatever you think feels best to you visually. There's no really rhyme or rhythm to how to do this appropriately. So here we go. We got stocks much bigger. You can actually even drop the bold aspect, but I'm gonna keep it. But this is our custom title view. So looking much better. We actually know which app we're in now. In the next video, I believe we're going to start looking at the search results controller, which is tied to our actual search bar here. So I'll see you guys there.